A little bit late there. I was listening to Audio Slave. Oops. But I'm here. Sorry. I got sucked into listening to music and lost track of the time there. Good morning, Kitty Q. I hope you are doing well this morning. Don't see Pippa dots yet. I wonder how what that is. Every week I always see somebody pop in and say hello to somebody else. It's like must be a little bit of delay in the chat on my end, at least when it first starts. Good so far. Bad storms coming in a few hours. And good morning, Pippa Dot. Now we've got a hell of a windstorm going on here. Hopefully everything stays working. But right now it's 46 degrees. We've got sustained winds of 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts. But sustained, the wind is staying at 20, 25. Yes, Pippa Dot. It is good news. But another day, another Saturday morning, page two news. So grab yourself a cup of Joe. Tea is acceptable as well. Shotgun a beer, I don't care. You do you. Rackart, good morning. Welcome to this morning's page two news. I hope you are doing well. Windstorm is there. Oh, hopefully the winds calm down for you where you are. I'm supposed to go golfing today. I don't know if that's going to happen at 20, 25 mile an hour winds. Kind of hard to hit a ball straight when the wind takes it, way off course. But who knows? Maybe the winds will die down. If I don't go, I'm sure there's at least a dozen things on the honey to-do list that my wife would rather me, or have me do. Not rather, but have me do. I got 5 or 6 of them done yesterday. Changed the brakes out on her car, her other car. Rotors, brake pads on both of them, on the front and back of the car. I could not, for the life of me, get the damn oil drain out of that car. Whoever owned it before she did had stripped it. So I bought a set of they're called bolt extractors. They're for stripped bolts. That didn't work at all. Reichardt, you're in Texas. I'm in Texas trying to avoid the tornadoes. Ooh, sorry about that. Reichardt, well, you stay safe out there. Hunker down somewhere. Right now it's San Antonio. San Antonio is a beautiful place. My friend used to live there before they moved to Galveston. Galveston, you have a whole nother, you get the tropical storm, coming in through the Gulf. They got a lot of that. I don't know if I'd ever live in Texas though. I mean, but where I live now is kind of like Texas in a little bit. I mean, we get the same hot temperatures, blistering sun, I live in what's called a high desert plateau, which is a semi-desert, kind of environment. We don't get the big old saguaro, cactuses here, but we have cactuses here, just not the big ones like that. A lot of tumbleweeds, sagebrush. Um, you know, I mean, Reichardt's been through here. Reichard knows what it's like. What the terrain. There's no mountains here. It's flat as hell. There's a little bit. You get towards Yakima. There's a little bit of hills that way, but if you're going closer to the Cascades, yeah, obviously the Cascade Mountain Range, there's definitely hills that way. There's hills to the other direction towards the Blues, but which is closer to the Rockies. But we're pretty much flat, in this area. A lot of farming, very rich soil because it was this whole area at one point back around after the Ice Age, it flooded and it was a giant lake, and then it all dissipated, and that's what carved this excuse me, this actual valley is the ice. But good morning, Jama. Good morning. I used to live in Kemah and Seabrook. I'm all stinky and dirty. Well, you enjoy your Love's truck stop shower. I've taken some of those. Those are pretty nice showers, in some of those truck stops. All right, let's get this morning's going. This is the 248th episode of Page 2 News. Obviously, before that, it was formerly called Coffee Brew. No shout outs this week. Page 2 News is strictly adheres to the factual evidence and verified data from the Department of Justice and the Associated Press news releases. It does not include conspiracy theory, speculation, or unverified claims that may have happened. If you are seeking sensationalism or content related to similar theories or lies spread by those who can't be bothered to do the research on the topic, this event and topic may not be right for you. And now for something completely different. 15 things you didn't know about the Lori Vallow Daybell trial currently taking place in Arizona. 15 things you may not be aware about. Let's start off with number 15. It's not a revelation, but Lori's main charge against Lori Vallow Daybell is conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree. That is the main charge. It's not the only charge. It is the main charge. Number 14, delay Lori is back. Lori Vallow Daybell's trial was supposed to have started in August of 2024, but has been delayed, and delayed some more. Appeal this. Even though she has slowed the case down greatly herself, she has refused to waive her rights to a speedy trial. Don't worry, if she was to appeal it later, she would lose because she was the one that slowed it down. At this point, she is beyond her right to a speedy trial. They were supposed to have started it and gotten to the actual trial part of it within, and it depends on the charges in the state of Arizona, but she generally, for all of the charges that she has against her that have been levied, she was supposed to have started that trial within 1 year and 3 months. That was the maximum, but she has delayed it and pushed it off by acting a fool and deciding to become her own attorney in the case, which slowed it down greatly. That and the sheer amount of evidence that she said that she needs to have the time to go through which means they can't just lock her up in her cell and say, okay, well, tomorrow, you get an hour. She needs 4 to 5 hours every day if she's going to go through even any of the evidence at all. And there is a vast amount of evidence against her in the conspiracy to kill Charles Vallow. Just that alone, there's a mountain of evidence. According to what I read online, that was the prosecution has entered over 4,000 total pieces of evidence in the case on just the charge of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree on Charles Vallow. 4,000 pieces of evidence. Now, make sure you're absolutely clear on that. Of the 4,000 pieces, that is pieces of paper. So there might be one piece of evidence like the ballistics report from the gun. That could have 20 pages or 30 pages to it itself. So that'd be one piece of evidence, 30 actual entries that add up to the 4,000. That's how it gets that big. Number 12, a cold December's rain. December 5th, 2024, at 10 a.m., Lori Vallow was deemed mentally fit to act as her own attorney and stand trial in court. It was all in one hearing. One, they deemed that she was mentally competent to aid in her own defense. That was the first thing they did. The second thing that the judge did was rule on if she could act as her own attorney against advice by the court. So that's two things that they ruled on December 5th, 2024 at 10 a.m. was when it started. Excuse me. Number 11. 2 for the price of 1. The trial for attempted murder conspiracy charges to kill Charles Vallow will be a completely separate trial from the trial to try and kill Brendan Brudeau. Yippee! Yes. So the trial that is currently ongoing is just for the conspiracy and other charges related to the murder of Charles Vallow. After this trial is over with, we will have a whole nother trial in Arizona on the conspiracy to kill Brendan Brudeau. That will be a completely separate trial. The court ruled that they must be separated because they are two different events and we're not connected at the same time, but the same people. So we're in luck, ladies and gentlemen. After the madness and craziness in Arizona for this one, we get another trial. Yippee! Number 10, dead woman walking. Once the guilty verdict has been handed down for her part in having Charles Vallow murdered, the court has to set a court date for the next trial over charges of trying to kill Brendan Brudeau. All right. The reason why this is completely separate from number 11 is I wanted to add, after the actual trial, we know she's going to be found guilty of this. She has no real defense. I mean, there's so much evidence against her. It's in the real damning part is that Alex Cox called her first before calling 911 to report the incident with Charles. How is she going to explain away, hey, I just shot your ex-husband, not once, but twice, execution style, and then I call you, but that's not conspiracy. It has nothing to do with conspiracy, but then called 911 and claimed self-defense. But after this actual trial is done, they will not, get this clear, immediately set a trial date for the beginning to start to pick the jury and go through all of that, because she has decided she wants a jury trial on the conspiracy charges for trying to kill Brendan Brudeau. So that will be a completely separate jury, and they do not have to, and they will not be able to set that within the, say 10 days afterwards. Again, she's won't waive her rights to a speedy trial. So the verdict will come down on these charges. and then they will have to go through all the post conviction process of valuation for incarceration, her risk, her health needs, everything else. Will she bring up mental competency again? Will the state have to, evaluate her? No. The state does not have to evaluate her again to see if she is mentally competent because they've already done that. But she can raise mental competency herself at that point before the Brandon Bordeaux trial is to begin. Again, delaying the entire process. She wants her face in front of the cameras as much as possible, and she wants to be able to tell everybody, look at this, it's worth $1 million. Number 9, free at last, free at last. In a jailhouse interview, Lori Vallow Daybell said on March 7th, 2025, her and Chad would be exonerated. She truly believes that after all of this is done, all of the cases, her and Chad will be exonerated later on completely. Not like will be found less guilty of lesser charges. She believes that they will be completely exonerated and released from all custody. Now, remember, she is mentally competent and believes that they are innocent and will be set free. Number 8, pleased to meet me. Since being extradited back to Arizona, Lori told reporters during her interview on March 7th, people seem to enjoy her presence. Sadly, this laughable part never made it on air. It was a cut, according to the news station, that never made it to the actual on-air interview from March 7th of 2025. But she believes that people enjoy her presence in jail, not just the inmates, but the staff, corrections officers. Everyone seems to enjoy her time there and her being there with them. Number 7, no more bets, the wheels turning. There are 4 major gambling houses in Las Vegas that are taking bets on the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. Yes, this is true because people are degenerates. They will bet on anything. There are 4 different gambling houses, casinos, that where you can go and place a bet on the Lori Vallow trial that is taking place in Arizona for the conspiracy to kill Charles, Vallow. You can bet. Will she be guilty? If she is guilty, how much time will they sentence her to? Will she, get this sentence? Will this piece of evidence? You can bet on the most bizarre crap. But there are 4 different places where you can go and wager your money. If you want to get rid of your money, you can go to paypal.me/411now and just give it to me instead. And I'll tell you after the trial if you won or lost. But if you just have money you want to burn, apparently that's what people like to do. Number 6, yum, yum, get you some. The first meal Lori Vallow Daybell requested after returning back to jail in Arizona was a fish sandwich, French fries, and apple and orange soda. She got only part of that actual meal. According to the guard, she said she must think that this is McDonald's. It was a female corrections officer who made that statement. She posted it to her actual I don't want to dox her because people will know. Let's just say she posted it on social media, and there are 2 guards who are corrections officers who are there, who are pretty well known and have a pretty large following in the actual jail system there. But she posted that that's what she had. The reason why she got a request for what she wanted for dinner was because she arrived and after she got through the process, it was after the actual meal time. So they were asking her, do you want like a burger or a sandwich or something? for dinner after she got through the process, and she didn't get any food. So she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take a fish sandwich, French fries, an apple, and an orange soda." But that wasn't what they were meaning. She did get, I believe, the fish sandwich, but I don't think she got the orange soda and the French fries or the apple, or maybe she got the apple. But they gave her what the hell they had on staff, in the kitchen, not on the staff, but on the grounds. Number 5, even a blind dog finds a treat. Even though Lori Vallow has been granted permission to act as her own attorney, she has 2 other attorneys helping her and 1 part-time law clerk who is helping her process and go through the actual court case right now on the charges of conspiracy to kill Charles Vallow. Number 4, she's on her way home, sweet home. Regardless of the outcome of either trial, Arizona has yet to formally submit paperwork saying Idaho can have her back afterwards. It's a formality, but it hasn't happened yet. Normally, before the trial would start, if you have already been convicted in one state of a larger charge or a more harsh charge, they will file paperwork. The state, if they extradite you back to stand trial, they will file the paperwork saying, and at the conclusion of this case, we will release her back to your custody. You have 30 days, blah, 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 to come and get her. They never post it online when they're going to come get them. They're notified at that point that they have 30 days after the conclusion to come get her. So after the Brandon Bourdeau case, Arizona has yet to file if they're going to make her do out her sentence in Arizona and then send her back to Idaho to serve out her time there, or if after the trial of these 2 trials in Arizona, they're just going to notify them and say, come get her. We don't want her. Now, in Arizona's situation, a large amount of people are pushing for them just to send her back to Idaho, make her serve out her time in Idaho. If she lives, then she can come back to Arizona and serve out her time there. But they have not, and for some reason, they did not file that paperwork, like is a normal procedure. They file it before the actual trial in the next state happens, but they haven't done it. Number 3, I guess she is worth it after all. Depends upon how long the 2 trials go. The state of Arizona has estimated the cost will be between $650,000 and $810,000 for it all. This includes the defense attorneys because she is considered indigent, and the state public defenders are picking up the tab for her 2 attorneys and law clerk. The court's time itself, the prosecution against her, any witnesses or professionals have to come in who have to testify in the case itself, along with everything all together. That's what they figure is the total cost is going to be for trying her. When they could have just left her in Idaho, and said, look, if you ever get out, we'll arrest you and then extradite you back to Arizona to stand trial. And they could have done it that way because there is no statute of limitations on conspiracy to commit murder. All they had to do was file the charges and say, if by some chance she does live out her sentence in Idaho, we'll extradite her back. So this is how the state wastes your taxpayer money. So, and if I lived in the state of Arizona, I'd be pissed. Yeah, we want justice for the murder of Charles Vallow and the attempted murder on Brandon Bourdeau. We do want that. Everybody wants that, but we already know she did it. Maybe in the court of public opinion. Do we need to know in court of law? She's going to die in Idaho with her sentence now that she has already against her. they didn't give her the death sentence there, but they gave her enough time. She cannot outlive it. So why go through the expense of having her extradited back to Arizona? You know what? That costs money just to extradite her back too. That was picked up by the feds. The extradition cost. That's always by the U.S. Marshal's office and the Department of Justice. They're the ones that eat that bill. But when it comes to her being there, the time that she's there, the food, the security, the court costs, the attorneys, everything, that's all on the state of Arizona. And the taxpayers in the state of Arizona have to foot that bill, which is making a whole lot of sense to me. Number 2, dress for success. For both cases that she has upcoming, Lori Vallow is allowed a total of $22 for hair and makeup, and clothes are supplied by a nonprofit that she must return at the end of each court day. So $22. That's $11 if you want to split it between the two, or she can buy all of it at once and they'll hold it. She doesn't get to take it back to her housing unit with her. It's just for her to be in court with. And that is everything. If she wants a brush to comb her hair, that comes out of the $22. If she wants lipstick or foundation or eyeliner or whatever, it comes out of the maximum $22. Again, the clothing is supplied by a nonprofit that supplies clothing for trial for men and for women, and each and every one of the outfits is then circulated back through the system. So what you see her wear tomorrow in court, you might see another defendant in a week from now wearing in court as well. So that's her maximum that she's allowed, and that is actually fairly, on the scale from what I gather. $22. Some women could spend that on just one item, and for what it costs. I have no idea what makeup costs. So don't ask. And that's for everything. Again, hair and makeup. Number 1, Dance Monkey Dance. During the interview she gave on March 7th, 2025, Lori Vallow said her and Chad would love to go on the TV show Dancing with the Stars after they've both been exonerated. She said that her and Chad love to dance and that they would be great for the show Dancing with the Stars. So again, she is delusional and believes that her and Chad will be exonerated and released from all custody, and they'll be able to go on Dancing with the Stars after this is all over with. How many of these 15 did you know? I knew all 15 of them because I've been following her case since before when JJ and Ty Lee were missing. And I don't know why, but I have been. I've been fixated on this stupid thing because I find their religious beliefs, and we're an offshoot of the Latter-day Saints. We are not Latter-day Saints, but we are Latter-day Saints when we're doing this. But we're not Latter-day Saints when we're doing that. But the church will never say anything bad about us. I find all of that extremely peculiar. Serial killer corner. You will die to get away. Can you hear me now? Mark Anthony Cantrell, 26, allegedly chowed down on Jared Andre and Deshae Butler's ears at the Harper Street group home in Columbus, South Carolina in 2023. He reportedly said he ate their ears and drank their blood in order to gain their power. Cantrell told police that he killed Jared and Deshae because his alter personality, Robert Baldwin, had instructed him to do so. Cantrell, who had previously served time for torturing dogs and setting his parents' home on fire, was on probation when he allegedly killed the men over a 5-month period back in 2023. If you want to read more about this serial killer, you can go to the New York Post link that is there and read more about it, or just enter it, Cantrell serial killer into Google, or I'm told, and I have under good authority, that Bing is still a thing. So, or you could Bing it, Cantrell serial killer, and he comes up on both of them. Cantrell is also connected to the disappearance of 5 others, but he has never been charged with them. Entertainment news. News stories from Hollywood, music, film, and literature, and more, featuring the moments celebrities wish had never happened. These are the missteps and controversies they'd rather the world forget, but we're here to bring them to light for everyone to see and enjoy. Isaac Stokes, convicted of calculated murder after being kicked out of a New York City birthday party. You might recall Isaiah from appearances on Law and Order SVU, or Blue Bloods, another crime drama, police show. But along with several other TV shows that he has done, his actual IMDb page is quite extensive. Isaiah Stokes. He was I wouldn't say an up and coming actor, but he has done a lot of roles on and off the big screen, and a lot of I don't want to say the off Broadway plays would be the best way to put it. He was found guilty of second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon in connection with the 2001 shooting death of 37-year-old Tyrone Jones. And the link there is to a smaller condensed article from People magazine, which is almost an exact copy from the Boston Globe's story. But for oddly, word for word, the first 15 words and the last 15 words are exactly the same with the two articles. Who copied who in that? Yeah, but anyways, yeah, he was kicked out of a birthday party for being intoxicated and being a complete jerk to other people who were at the party. When Tyrone Jones and others tried to escort him off the property, he pulled out a gun and shot Tyrone Jones, killing him, instantly there on the, at the birthday party. What a nice individual this is. Fact or real news? Your task is to identify the real news story. I will present 3 stories, but only one is true. Choose A, B, or C to determine which one is the real story. Story A. Is that a banana in your pocket, or are you happy to see me? A New Jersey man has been arrested again for stealing bananas from Trader Joe's. This is his 8th arrest for this conviction. The story went on to say that each and every time they know this individual has been there, he has been trespassed from entering into Trader Joe's. He has stolen bananas each and every time. Is this the real story, or is it fake? Story B. Can you see me now? Los Angeles, California. A woman was stopped and told she could not take a 3-foot flashlight onto a plane at LAX. So what did she do? She assaulted a TSA agent with it instead. She missed her flight and went to jail. Is this the real story or is this the fake story? Story C, Turtle Power. A man stopped by TSA in Newark, New Jersey, was found to have a live turtle hidden down his pants. It's unclear if the turtle was a pet. The turtle is not an endangered species or even rare. It was just a regular box turtle, and you can see the picture of a turtle there. One of these stories is real. A, B, or C. Each story has been shared online a minimum of 100,000 times and has received over 10,000 likes or upvotes. Again, like votes come from all video formats, but upvotes only come from Reddit. And these stories have all been shared worldwide. One of the stories today has 3,700,000 likes. 3,700,000 likes alone. One of them do. But I will give you a couple of minutes to think about which one is the real story. You don't need to tell me in the world which ones are fake. Just tell me which one is the real one. A, B, or C. Yeah, Pippa Dot. The story said that the man was trespassed after stealing the bananas the first time, but he keeps on coming back to Trader Joe's. But is that a real story or is it a fake story? We'll have to see. Just like the flashlight lady. 3 foot. That's 36 inches long, ladies and gentlemen. How long is your standard flashlight in your house that you need for or use for, emergency uses? I have a couple that are 36 inches long. They're mag lights, kind of like you would have for law enforcement. But I use another one that's just a standard one. It's probably about 12 inches long for, in the house in case the power goes out. Inner P's. D, all the above. And good morning, Inner P's. And good morning to anyone else that I may have missed while I was doing this part of the show. Thank you for being here this morning. All right, the real story this week is C as in cat. The story about the man who had the box turtle down his pants. No, it was not in a pair of cargo pants and in a pocket. He had that turtle hidden down inside of his pants. According to the TSA, after they stopped the man for boarding the plane with a box turtle down his pants, they were unable to determine if the box turtle was his pet, he had stolen it, or why he was transporting a box turtle in such a way. He could have put the box turtle in a little, cage and put it in his checked baggage if he needed. Yeah, hell, in this day and age, I'm not making fun of this, but I'm saying this, and you got to understand it does sound ridiculous. He could have said that the box turtle was an emotional support animal. I have seen and I have read stories about every type of animal out there on this earth that someone has determined is an emotional support animal. Cats, dogs, probably turtles. I've seen a man who listed a giraffe as a support animal, an emotional support animal, a giraffe. anything could be an emotional support animal. It depends on, if you find it funny or not. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying he could have said that the turtle was an emotional support animal and he needed it with him on the flight. And he didn't have to put the poor thing down his pants. But he didn't. And he was stopped. And, well, now that's where the case goes on from here. Again, I have no affiliate links or products to push you on any false pretenses, but you can make a donation to support this content if you wish. The link is on your screen there. Oh, back. All right, questions that I have been asked this week. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. This one comes from 4 days ago today. Why dig up the past like this? You get your facts straight, dude. You're talking crap. Bailey S. would never do this. She is pure and innocent, and I'm going to inform her what you said. Goodbye to your subscribers. I'm posting this not to be negative, ladies and gentlemen, but I see and get so many of these messages per month and per week. It's unbelievable. My answer to this person who posted this question on the video is the video you are commenting on is almost 6 years old. Secondly, I never mentioned any creators in this video. Hate me all you want. You have free will, right? I wish you the best, but try in the future to act like an adult. This isn't the third grade playground. And have a great week ahead. The video that this individual posted this actual comment on was on a Christopher Watts video about him murdering his wife and children. I've never said anything about Bailey Saren in that video because that's who Bailey S is. I never said anything about her. I never mentioned anyone in the video other than that he lied to the local news station when he stood on his front porch begging for his wife and children to come home. That's how long ago this video was made. I don't know where they got this, but I get so many of these messages, where people threaten that they're going to tell someone else and they're going to drive away all my subscribers again. I frankly don't give two shits in a, you can add the last part in there, but I don't. But people do it anyways because they feel that they have the power over the creator. And I'm not the only one. I mean, go watch some videos and read the comment sections of different people. I mean, Pippadot is seeing, people go on, off on the rails on Lamont. For what? And he never said any of this shit that, that people keep on, accusing him of. But it happens to all of us because people feel like they have the power over the creator, of the content, and they can threaten them with anything that they want. But, that's the first comment for the week, question of the week. Next one. Why do you feel to need to make up false claims? Think I'll send this one for you this post. Mind your own business. This is about me being the content that I made a video was blocked by YouTube, and this was in the community section. My answer to that is thank you for your comment. I have the facts on my side. These claims and issues were reported. Not where I'm sure why you believe I'd make it up. I was minding my own business and I was in my own lane. I see your reply to others on the stream. Hurtful towards me? Yes. Bordering on doxing? Yeah. Me as well? Yes. Why have you been so petty is beyond me. I wish you the best and have a great week. Again, this is about YouTube blocking content that I had released, saying that, there were issues with it. and they commented, on that community tab, post, and said, "Hey, you're making this up. You're lying. What? I think I'm going to report you again." They never did, but they posted that threatening message anyways. Again, this is common. Third and final question for the week is: you seem to have a lot of knowledge around the Christopher Watts murders. Have you ever considered writing a book about it? The answer is I have never considered writing a book about it. I did turn over my research to another writer, though. Not sure what really happened there. 8 or 9 months later, they returned all the documents along with a cashier's check for the use of all of my documents and everything else and work, which I took that check and cashed it, and I donated 100% of it to the U.S. Lupus Foundation, a charity that Shanann strongly supported because she had lupus and she wanted to support the U.S. Lupus Foundation. And everything and every penny I've ever made from the Christopher Watts videos, even to this day, I donate to the U.S. Lupus Foundation. I've never made a dime on any content about Christopher Watts or the Watts murders. And that will happen for the rest of my life. I will never make anything from it because it's a horrific case, of that should have been avoided, in so many different ways. But you have a question, you can ask it now in the live stream, and I will try to answer it next, next week at the end. Or if you're watching this afterwards, put it in the comment section after this, this live stream, and I will try to answer either in the comment section or in the community tab someplace. I try to answer as many as possible, but understand I do get an awful lot of them, and it is impossible for me to answer every one. Likewise, I do get a lot of questions that are exactly the same or trying to get the same answer. I may have answered it somewhere else in the comment section, so please scroll up and down to see if I've actually replied to, in a like question. Excuse me. Tomorrow night's trivia is the Wineville Coop murders. The Wineville Coop murders. This was suggested to me by none other than Cement Shoes. And I don't know how I ever missed this case, but I did. It's an older case, but the Wineville Coop murders. Again, that is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the Eastern time zone. So judge accordingly to wherever you may be. That is tomorrow night at those times. Thank you for watching today's Page 2 News. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm suggest the content to more viewers, which in turn makes the entire experience more enjoyable for everyone. I mean, it takes a lot of thumbs up to beat anything, but you can't have a lot of thumbs up if you don't get any. So please, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Yeah, in the UK, it's midnight in the UK when that goes live. Never heard of the Wineville Coop murders. I don't know how to tell you the truth, Pippadot, I don't know how I missed it. There are so many different things that in different channels that, of like for content wise that I actually use for, doing research for the trivia questions. And so many of the people who are involved in not only in the case, different jurisdictions wise, but people who've written books and articles about it, and people who've done movies and blogs and vlogs or whatever you call them, have all crossed paths on this case and yet somehow I missed it all. I don't know how. I really don't. Good day to you, Gayla. I got 35 trivia questions on the Wineville Coop murders for tomorrow night. Then I write them down on my clipboard. I wonder if there are Margaritaville murders, as in Margaritaville, like Jimmy Buffett. Margaritaville. There have definitely been murders that have been committed, at seaside resorts, Margaritavilles, I guess. Pippa, oh, so sweet, Will. You support the Lupus Foundation for Shannon. Always have. Always have and always will, Pippa. What's for breakfast? Nothing. I'm all alone. There's nobody home. Just me. No, I do have to make breakfast for my mother, but she always eats basically the same two things, day in and day out. She'll eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if we don't stop her, and say, look, you have to eat more of a balanced meal. For breakfast, if I don't stop her, she'll eat Raisin Bran and an orange and an apple. So, even though I have everything planned and I've taken everything out, it's on the counter in the house, but I have to actually go in and make her breakfast. But she won't be up for another 8 minutes. She has an alarm clock that she sets, doesn't go off for another 8 minutes. But then I have to go make her breakfast. But everybody else is gone. They all had things that they wanted to do, and they left this morning at like 6 something. I can't remember where they're going. To go some museum or something. I kind of that two ships passing in the wind. I was underneath the car working on replacing the brakes and the brake line underneath the car, and my wife, all I could see was her feet walk up on next to me, and she's like, "What do you want on your pizza?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, and then she was talking while I was working, and I was like, I can't. She said something about going to the museum tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. She goes, are you going golfing in the wind? I go, maybe. It all depends on how bad it is. So, Will, I want to say thanks for the gift you sent me. I truly appreciate you. It made me feel a lot better. Please keep me in your thoughts for Monday. I will, Gemma. I will. And you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Suspect in 2020 Margaritaville resort killing pleads to guilty of manslaughter. Ooh. Golf is waiting you. Yeah, if I golf, I won't golf for almost 3 hours. So we'll see what the wind looks like. I'll check the National Weather Service while they're still around, because they're here today. They're going to be gone soon. Because remember, that is government waste. Just like educating your children and everything else that has been deemed waste, Medicare, Medicaid, or waste, Social Security is all a scam, according to Elon. So I don't know if any of these programs will be around tomorrow. I don't give a shit what side of the political spectrum you're on, But when somebody starts targeting programs that affect my life directly and cutting them back to the point where they're non-existent anymore, and I'm not on welfare, I'm not, stealing from the government. My mother relies upon Social Security and Medicare for parent, taking care of her medically and for her to be able to have somewhat of an existence, because she has pension, but on top of that, she wouldn't be able to survive on her pension alone. Telling people that Social Security is a scam and that we need to get rid of it. She paid into it. Damn near her entire life. So I don't know if these programs are going to be here. And that's the truth. Again, I don't give a shit what side of the spectrum you're on. That's up to you. But this is the world we live in. So, and I only object to the fact that doing these away with these programs is going to directly affect people in my life. So, and it very well may affect a lot of you, out there as well, if retired or not. If you only have Social Security to live on afterwards, I don't know what the hell you're going to live on. If you're on Medicaid and your loved one is in a nursing home, good luck, because better than 75% of all people who are in nursing homes rely upon some type of Medicaid or Social Security to pay for their actual housing and medical care. 75%. And Elon says that they're both waste and we need to get rid of them both. So, because it's not going to affect the richest man in the world. It's not going to affect any of his friends or his kids or his loved ones. So that's my little rant for the day. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys which one had the of the three stories that are fake or real. Which one had 3.7 million likes? The one with 3.7 million likes was the man who steals bananas from Trader Joe's. 3.7 million likes. In case you're wondering how many comments, and shares out that it had over 2 million shares and likes, additional shares, and other people commenting on it. That popped up on several different actual mainstream media outlets. A man steals bananas from Trader Joe's again, or some version of that. But at 3.7 million likes. I forgot to tell you guys that part. Your Social Security check was literally just electronically deposited to your account. Well, I'm glad you got it, Gayla. I'm glad you got it, and I hope that they never do anything to it. There are way too many Americans who rely upon Social Security, and one of these days I should really do a video on Social Security here in America, and just to debunk some of the myths about Social Security and how it's actually set up, how they determine the cost of living increase on Social Security, why the cost of living increase is connected to one thing that has nothing to do with the cost of living at all. So hey, Social Security recipients, we know that there's inflation and everything else went up, 6 to 9% across the board. But here you go. Here's a 1.75% increase. Oh, by the way, your, part, A and B and D all went up and wiped away your 1.75%, increase that you got for, cost of living. Social Security Administration and the fund itself that supports the payment, in support of so many retirees in America would not, and I repeat, would not be anywhere near being defunct or out of money if it wasn't for the congressional leaders out there in the past who borrowed billions of dollars from the actual fund to balance the budget and never put the money back. Your money went to balance the budget for certain political leaders, and they never put the money back. That is a fact. They can try to hide behind it all they want, but they did it. Then now they're like, well, Social Security, the administration is defunct. It's going bankrupt. We're going to have to end this or move the goalpost. They keep on moving. That's what they do now. They keep on moving it closer and closer, to 67 to get full benefits. But instead of leaving it at 60 or 65, move the retirement age farther and farther down the line. That way we don't have to pay it out as long. They wouldn't have to if they just put the money back into the trust fund like it was supposed to be. People don't understand that though. Just like, if I tell you that the sky is blue, there's always going to be someone out there who's going to say, you're wrong. It is so red right now. It's red. It's always been red. There's never been a blue sky. It's always red. We want that money back. Well, it's never going to come back, Gala. They started borrowing against the Social Security and taking money out of the trust fund when Ronald Reagan wasn't the president of the United States. That's how long they've been stealing money out of the trust fund. But it's like every government entity out there. When it comes to the government, if once they add a tax to something and they turn on that spigot, and it starts filling up their bucket, they never want to turn that bucket off. They want to fill up the next one and the next one and the next one. Why would you ever want to, you kick the can, down the road? Let's privatize the entire thing and watch the stock market fall and everyone lose all of their money. Let's do that instead, just like we did to the teachers. Will, are you aware about Elon being a bully? He bullied his own autistic trans daughter. He deserves no support. Well, I'm aware that Elon is definitely on the spectrum himself, even if he doesn't want to admit it. I am aware that one of his gajillion children, yes, is definitely autistic. I did see some articles about him being a bully to his, not just his daughter, who's on the spectrum, but to like I think 3 or 4 of his, his exes who he has children with. That's how bullies act. They, a bully today is going to be a bully tomorrow, unless there's something that, that stops them. Yeah. Well, that's the world we live in, though. Sadly. And again, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I really hate that, that people, are like they always vote down party lines. Why can't you just vote for the best person for the job? And if they screw that job up, you give that job to somebody else. It's worked long enough in the history of human, kind, in the business world. Hey, Bob, you really dropped the ball on making, those fenders for, the Chevy Chevette. Bob, we're going to have to let you go. Mark, come on in here. Mark, do you think you can make, fenders for the Chevy Chevette? I know the whole car sucks, but can you make them or make sure that they're made correctly? You can? Good. You have the job, Mark. That's how it's worked in that aspect in business from day one. Caveman, oh, me smash rock. No, I not smash rock good. Come here, Neanderthal. He smash rock. You got a job, you smash rock good. Yeah, that's how it's worked even then. But not in politics. Nope. The guy screws the job up, he keeps his job for 40 years because he just gets enough, PR people to convince you that he did something else correct. Well, I may have let more criminals out on the street, but I'm tough on crime. It's not me. It's all of these people who are responsible. They're the reason why your community is being overrun. That's the world we live in, though. Nobody wants to be accountable in politics. They used to say the only way to, the surefire to lose an election, was to be caught with an underage girl or be caught in a scandal where you were having sex with someone of the same sex as you. That's what they used to say, or have video or pictures of both. That used to be it, but now we have the Jeffrey Epstein thing. Why aren't they releasing the names of those who have who visited and flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane and visited and went to that island? Because those people are in political power. That's the only reason why. You're never going to get the complete list or an unredacted list of those who were there for all those parties on Epstein's island. You're never going to see them. Yeah, we're going to release them. Yeah, you released all the ones that had nothing to do with those who are still in power. That's the facts. We're never going to know just how Jeffrey Epstein's cell got left unlocked at night, and the guards fell asleep, and the security camera got turned off. That was just 3 simple mistakes, right? If you've ever met anybody who's in corrections or has worked in corrections, those 3 things are damn near impossible to ever happen. That one cell gets unlocked out of all the cells. That the guard fell asleep, and the security camera that is supposed to protect that individual or show, the surveillance of that area got turned off. But they had problems. They had problems with security 3 months prior, but that was fixed, wasn't it? Because every day after that issue came up, they fixed it. They had security all the way up until Epstein was put in that cell. That's odd, because they don't want you to know how it happened. How did the other inmate get out of his cell? How did he get into Jeffrey's cell? How does it that all of this happened and the guard was asleep and the security camera got turned off? I wonder. And now we know why people believe in flat earth, and they believe that Richard Nixon, Elvis, and now a couple of other celebrities are all living off the grid in a cabin in Wyoming someplace, and they're not dead. And by the way, I believe Elvis is about to turn 51 years old. I'm sure Gemma would know, but I do believe he would be 91 this year. Oh yeah. Well, I'm almost positive of it, Galen, that it came from an outside source. Someone higher up put pressure on this person, that person put pressure on that person. But hey, we're just all supposed to just, forget that it ever happened. It didn't happen here. Didn't happen on my watch, they say. I didn't have anything to do with it. I couldn't fix it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, mistakes do happen, right? We're all humans. I mean, our cyber overlords haven't taken over yet. I mean, they're coming for us. They're coming. We will be, replaced by some cyborg, electrical, unit, either a walking, talking robot or a lizard person. Ooh, there are people who believe in those lizard people. That there'll be the lizard people will be taking over, or maybe they already have, and that's why. Your family is from Wyoming. Elon is our new overlord. With his billions and billions and billions of dollars, he's going to install the next world order. For those who believe in the one world order conspiracy that it's going to happen and is already taking place right here in front of us, they might be closer to the truth than anyone else who believes in any other conspiracy. Skynet. Don't forget tonight, before you go to bed, to take your Soylent Green. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's, page 2 news there. I want to thank everyone before I take off here for being here this morning for page 2 news. And I hope that each and every one of you has a terrific week ahead if I don't see you tomorrow for trivia. Again, trivia tomorrow night is on the Wineville Coop murders that took place in the past, obviously. And that is at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the Eastern Time Zone. And, apparently of midnight, from what Gemma says, in the UK. So, judge accordingly to wherever you are based on that information. And I hope to see you tomorrow. If not, you have a terrific week. In the meantime, I bid you a good day.